Welcome to The Brad Show, is a podcast where three guys are watching scary movies.
Ooh.
I'm Cory Cavin.
My name is Jon Sieber.
Hi, and I'm Kevin Doyle, reporting live from Hurricane Ian.
Kevin is in Florida right now in a vacation condo wearing a tank top and a backwards hat.
I would have liked to see a little bit more Tommy Bahama from you.
I know I would, but no, he's
we lost him.
We lost him. He's already gone. He is already gone.
He got really excited. He said, "Bro, what did he get?"
Okay, listen. I went to the thrift store here. I got my first official Tommy Bahama shirt.
Oh my gosh, we were just talking about how you couldn't afford them.
Well, I went to a thrift store and it was $1.75.
What?
Tommy Bahama shirts are like $175.
Are you sure it wasn't 175 and they just mislabeled it?
I have to ask my mom, but I'm getting it altered, and I make fun of them a lot, but this is my real official first Tommy Bahama shirt.
Wait, why are you going to get it altered? Why don't you just let it breathe?
Yeah, dude,
bro?
you gotta let that thing flap,
dude. The baggie is coming back in. The baggie's already back in. All right,
listen,
dude. You don't tailor a Bahama. You don't tailor a Tommy.
I would never want to encroach on Big or Aiden's style.
Mm-hmm.
They are full. They would never alter a shirt. It would never even enter their mind to alter a shirt. And
you gotta let the Bahama breathe.
I will try it on and send you a picture, and it looks exactly like Mr. Big season 3 when he's walking the dog.
I love it.
It looks
the greatest.
Exactly like that.
I hope. I can't wait to see it.
Yeah.
I hope that you make it out of the hurricane.
Okay. What are the chances that you just get blown away during the middle of the podcast? Like how close is Hurricane Ian?
I don't know. Like, it was one of those things at the beginning. I was like, oh, everyone's like talking. And then all of a sudden, like, there was like a big beep on our phone. And then we turned on the TV and Joe Biden is just like, we're with the families. We will be there. No matter. That was George W. Bush. But anyways,
yeah, exactly.
It was like, it's like started to get like real, but I don't know. It's kind of fun. We made clam chowder tonight.
And why did your family decide to ride it out rather than leave?
Because we don't have a refund policy on vacation, and my mom said we're on the second floor, so the storm surge isn't going to affect us.
I love it.
And my flight got canceled. So
last words of every single family that end up floating on a door a day later.
I know. Well, I'm glad that you guys made your last meal of clam chowder.
Yeah.
Let's get to the movie.
Yeah. At least you guys will have some good farts when you're trapped in that apartment together. I
will say, in case something bad does happen, our thoughts and prayers are with you.
Mm-hmm.
And all of the money from the Patreon is going to go to get you another Tommy Bahama shirt if something bad happens.
To bury you in, even though we won't
to bury me in.
We won't be able to find your body, but we'll drape one over over an empty casket.
And you guys will be crying, looking over the coffin, being like, he looks so relaxed.
He's really going to rest in peace. Relax in peace. That's what it is.
Oh, dude.
Relax
in peace.
Dude. Well, speaking of dying things and dead things, we're watching. We're finally doing it. It's been teed up to us several times, and now is the perfect week to watch Hocus Pocus.
Hocus Pocus.
It's the perfect week because they're releasing Hocus Pocus 2 at the end of this week.
Yeah. Do you know the song "Focus" by Hocus Pocus by Focus?
No,
dude. It's if you're listening to this, I don't know if the band's called Focus.
Wait, is that the internet? The like,
yeah.
Yes, yeah.
It's a very good. It's a very powerful song.
Yeah.
From that song is LSD.
Yeah.
In music form.
Yeah.
Now I do want to say I celebrated Halloween a lot this summer.
Mm-hmm.
Because I had to play guitar for kids and like 3 and 4 year olds. And I played the Monster Mash starting in July because I was just looking for songs that'd be fun. And it became the hit of the summer. So I played Monster Mash every single week, probably 4. And just letting everybody know that song.
Kevin, did we lose you because of the hurricane?
Hello.
I'm going to go ahead and just plow forward and follow up on your statement.
I think Kevin played the Monster Mash a bunch.
Well, I'll say this, though. I'll say this, and we're going to get into a lot of interesting stuff, but it's good that you played it in July because you probably didn't know this, but Hocus Pocus first came out in 1993 in July.
Really?
They released this movie in July in 1993. Why? Okay, there's like so much insane backstory about this, and like we'll get into more stuff once we watch the movie. But they released it in July because kids were going to be out of school, just like the kids that you were teaching. They were like, kids will be out of school. Kids are going to want something to do during the summer. Let's release this movie as a kid's Halloween movie in July instead of releasing it at Halloween.
So this is a Halloween movie.
It's 1000% a Halloween movie.
Okay. I don't know anything about this movie other than one of the characters has big teeth.
I did not think you were going to say teeth. But yes, one of the characters I believe does have big teeth.
That's the only thing I know. I don't know who the character is, if they're even in the movie a lot, but they have big, like beaver, really huge beaver teeth, right?
Yes,
we'll see.
Yeah, I've never
huge beaver.
I've never seen it before, but I believe the character you're talking about is Bette Midler. Because I've seen like, you know, just press pictures and stuff like that.
Kevin, have you seen Hocus Pocus?
I have not. I wasn't allowed to watch like which movie. I wasn't allowed to watch the Smurfs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I actually did think that when I was thinking about this movie. I was like, I wonder if in 1993
Satanic Panic was like at an all-time high.
Satanic Panic was happening. I just wonder if this movie was well attended. Well, actually, no, from reading some stuff at Wikipedia, I know some facts about what happened when it came out. But I do wonder the same thing with like what Kevin was saying. I wonder if it had some pushback from parents at the time.
Can I ask some questions about this movie?
Yeah, let's do a little question before we dive into the first half.
Is this movie like adored now? Is it like a cult classic now amongst people?
It is now considered a cult classic, yes.
Okay, and what makes a movie a cult classic? If it has like a big, strong fan base? You know, I don't know what.
I think like, hi, this is Kevin reporting live. I feel like, so Bette Midler is like one of the biggest, she has like one of the biggest, most intense fan bases in Hollywood popular culture.
Right.
Especially gay, like her gay fan base.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she's like a gay icon. Her and Cher and like Barbara Streisand are like kind of, I mean, she's kind of, she is like on another level as far as her fan base.
Yeah.
And then when you think about Sarah Jessica Parker, I know that just sheerly from our Sex and the City podcast, people are like, you have to watch this.
Yeah.
So I feel like this is one of those movies that just has that like people love these actresses.
Mm-hmm.
And it was also a Disney time. I mean, it was around the time of Newsies. And it's the same director as Newsies, I think.
Is this
and
like,
it kind of has that like early 90s Disney fan base of like, there was only one movie to see at the time. And so like everybody saw this movie.
Is this movie going to be scary?
Probably not.
Okay. So like, I'm just trying to I don't do well with scary movies. So when I heard it, when you just confirmed it was a Halloween movie, I'm not too excited to see it.
I don't feel like
I'm scared.
I don't feel like we're jumping into like The Conjuring or something like that.
Okay.
I will say when we do our movie watches, you know, I'm usually doing research as we're doing the podcast.
Yeah.
You know, as evidenced on Devil Wears Prada, where I was reading some things off and you were like, what? And I was like, sorry, not that. But, I did a lot of pre-research for this.
Ooh, I love that.
I mean, I had like...
It's called pre-search.
I did some pre-search.
Uh-huh.
I did a lot of pre-search. I will say this is not a ton of research, but by looking at dates, this is pre-Sex and the City.
Yeah.
Sarah Jessica Parker. This is
what else?
1993.
What else had SJP been in at this point?
Well, she'd been in Annie on Broadway as a little gal.
Okay.
Is
SJP a household name by this point, or is Bette Midler the one carrying?
Bette Midler's the driving force.
Okay,
of
so
this
Bette
movie.
Midler's carrying
absolutely
bringing in the audience.
Well, and I will say from my pre-search,
she was in. Sorry.
Oh,
she was in L.A. Story and Honeymoon Honeymoon in Vegas. But even those are like LA Story was pretty big, but with Steve Martin, I think.
It's Steve Martin. Yeah. Great movie.
Yeah. I mean, she was obviously Hollywood. She was in First Wives Club, Mars Attacks.
Yeah.
So she was in a lot of stuff. Ed
Wasn't
Wood,
everyone in Mars Attacks?
Everyone was in Mars Attacks.
Yeah. So that
she
kind of
was
gets
never
taken
like
off here.
leading lady.
No. I mean, I think, and also First Wives Club is after this. Like First Wives Club and Mars Attacks are after this movie. So like,
well, that's fucked up because on Wikipedia,
yep,
it has that as under the pre-Sex in the City chunk of facts.
Well, it is pre-Sex in the City, but it's not pre-Pocus.
Yeah, there's pre and post Pocus.
I was just doing.
Yeah. No, sorry. I'm talking. I'm in the Pocus timeline right now. But yeah, I mean,
Post-kiss.
I'll say this from my pre-search. It was a movie that some people around Disney conceived of in 1984, and it was constantly like reworked and workshopped. And then they brought it to Spielberg, and Spielberg, they brought it to, or no, I guess before Disney, someone brought it to Amblin, which was Spielberg's company, did like E.T. and stuff. And he was like, I don't want to develop something for Disney that is a competitor. Like I don't want to do this as just someone. I don't want to make a thing for a competing place because I have Amblin, and then it kind of just like sat around for a while, and then when Bette Midler came on in the early 90s, it says it immediately rocketed into production because, like Kevin was saying, Bette Midler is just has such a rabid fan base.
Yeah.
So as soon as she was on, it like skyrocketed into production.
Well, we're going to do this in 2 parts.
Yep.
Let's go watch. This is about an hour and a half movie. Let's go watch the first 45 minutes, come back, and give a talk-a-do.
Talk it. Katie?
Hocus Pocus. After moving to Salem, Massachusetts, teenager Max Dennison explores an abandoned house with his sister Danny, played by Thora Birch, and their new friend Allison. Not believing in the town's haunted past, Max accidentally frees a coven of evil witches, played by Bette Midler, Sarah Jessica Parker, and Kathy Najimy, who used to live in the house. Now, with the help of a magical cat, the kids must stop the witches from becoming immortal. And now, back to the boys.
Ooh. Ooh.
All right, we're back. We're back, and John is now. If you're listening and you're not watching the video, John is a cat now.
Yeah,
he's talking.
John is a cat, and we're all virgins again.
Yep. Bro always was.
All right. Well, how are we gonna do this?
John, are you okay? Are you okay, John?
What's going on, John?
How are we gonna? What are we allowed to say and not say?
Well, I here's the thing. Like I said,
John,
I did a lot of pre-search.
Place.
I did a lot of pre-search. Yeah, it's a safe space. So
Okay.
say what you want to say because I've got some interesting things with the pre-search.
Okay. Do you want to do pre-search first, or do you want me to?
Yeah, I'll hit you with a little.
Well, I'm also I have to watch the whole movie to like have
true
a strong take, but I have some feelings.
Yeah. Okay. Well, here's what I'll say.
Yeah.
When this movie came out, okay, so this movie cost like $23 million to make.
1994.
93.
We're in 93.
Yeah. 93. Cost like $23 million to make.
I'm 10 years old. It's in July.
Yep. It's in July.
I was born in July. My 10th birthday. I'm probably at putt-putt.
Yep. Totally.
Mm-hmm.
So cost a lot of money to make. Released in July.
Yeah.
The movie tanks when it comes out. It makes like $8 million.
What?
It's released to mostly mixed and negative reviews. Pretty much every review, like Ebert tore it apart.
Okay.
Yeah, just like tons of reviewers are just like this movie. They're like, you get a great cast. You get all these things. This movie does not live up to any of those. So like no one liked it. And then over time, because of ABC Family and because of Disney,
they just like kept playing it over and over.
Every Halloween, ABC Family would be like, it's 10 Nights of Fright or whatever.
Yeah.
And then it became a cult classic. And then it made all its money back and double. It's made like $48 million.
In DVD sales and all that?
DVDs, rentals.
Blu-rays?
Probably Blu-rays.
Laserdisc?
It was originally released on Laserdisc. It was. I'm serious.
I mean, I rented it for $4 tonight.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. You rented it. We watched it. So
that's insane.
So I think what I want to say is that, you know, it is, it was not liked when it was received, when it was released. It was not the cult classic that it is today. When it was released, it would not be getting the sequel that is coming out this Friday.
So what you're saying is it's a shitty movie. And the only reason that it got any sort of appreciation is because it was crammed down people's throats year after year after year, every Halloween. When it's cold outside, people can't go out. And after they are sitting in their sugar comatose, they're forced to watch that movie.
Sure. We could say that.
Cool. All right.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Yeah, totally.
Should we do a recap?
Let's do a recap.
Should we get Kevin back in here?
Kevin, I you know, this has also become the Hurricane Pod, and Kevin has disappeared, and so it's possible he's going to come back in.
Yeah.
I just got a text from him that just said, "I'm back. I guess I got kicked out." He's not.
He's not. He's definitely not back.
We really hope that everything's okay.
Yeah.
And I think it's just internet problems.
Okay.
Let's do a little recap. So, okay, let's tag team this recap.
We're in Salem.
We're in Salem,
Massachusetts.
We're in Salem in like the 1600s, right?
Yeah, during the witch hunts. And there's a What's up?
There you go.
Brinks.
Are you actually recording?
Binksy.
Okay, cool.
Basically starts with
you guys are seeing behind the curtain.
A boy whose little sister. Is it his little sister?
Yeah. So
goes missing.
His little sister goes missing. Yep.
And he goes into the woods.
It's the 1600s in Salem. Yeah. Goes into the woods to find her.
He's like a farmhand or something, probably.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what in 1600s you were either like a blacksmith.
Yeah, you're like
a farmhand or a feudal lord.
You're like a serf of some sort.
Or a witch. Yeah.
He would have been a warlock, I guess.
I feel like you're also like a magistrate.
Yeah, but that you're like higher up if you're a magistrate. If you're a magistrate,
a councilman, you're a councilman.
Yeah, you're something. You're something. Let's keep moving.
Yeah, he's a farmhand, and his sister gets missing. He chases her into the woods, where he stumbles upon the Sanderson sisters.
Yep,
and they are gonna drain her life, put a spell on her to achieve. They were going to become younger and more beautiful and pretty.
Yeah. Kind of Fountain of Youth kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then he basically sneaks in and sees his sister, and he's like, oh, okay, I'm going to rescue her. Ends up causing some commotion.
Yep.
But not enough to where they actually drain the life out of his sister. I mean, what's crazy is they like kill that kid.
They kill a kid.
And then they tase him with their magical powers. They shock him. They turn him into a black cat. And then the Sanderson sisters get
executed.
They get hung.
It's like hard cut to them getting murdered. Getting hanged.
They get hanged
to death.
Correct. Yeah, hanged.
And so that's the opening. You have a little girl that gets murdered and 3 witches that get hung.
Yep, and a boy gets turned into a cat.
And then we immediately hard cut to 90s.
Yeah,
90s Salem, Massachusetts.
Yep.
High school. And where we meet our main characters.
Yes. So we meet this family who has just moved to Salem from LA.
They do the opposite journey that the LaRussos do from Karate Kid. the LaRussos go from West Coast. No, they go from East Coast to West Coast.
Totally.
His family goes from West Coast to East Coast.
Yeah. So everyone is like, this is the California kid. His name is Max. Max does not like being there. Danny, his little sister, does like, Danny is one of those kids who is like 8 going on 38.
Yeah.
And wise little kid played by Tora Birch.
Oh.
From American Beauty.
There you go.
But Max is there. I will say Max's parents, big fan of his parents.
Oh my God.
His parents,
they party.
Dude,
hard.
He owns some Tommy Bahama shirts, if you know what I mean.
His dad would be popping weed edibles all the time.
For
today.
sure. I feel
probably was back then.
I feel like they're swingers.
They're probably swingers.
Yeah,
totally.
For sure swingers.
Totally swingers. His dad probably came back to Salem because he's working for like a weight loss shake company that he got moved out of the California office to like try to start their East Coast distribution. He was like, I'll do it. Heck
Dude,
yeah.
He's Nutrisystem or something.
Yeah, he worked for Nutrisystem or something like that. And maybe his wife like had a boyfriend there that he was cool with.
Yeah, he was totally cool with it.
He's like, yeah, there's some chicks at the gym, whatever. Like, yeah, his parents are weird.
Not that that's weird, but
that's weird.
In 93, he traveled fast and loose.
Yeah, it was not
And
like
just
the
a
other
heads
families
up,
in Salem.
No spoilers, but they developed all of the swinging part a lot in Hocus Pocus 2.
Oh no.
I think that's actually the main.
Totally.
That's the main, because they needed to like kind of make it more current, and so they go hard into polyamorous culture.
Totally.
In Hocus Pocus 2 on Disney Plus.
Totally. Yeah, it's called Hocus Pocus.
What is Che Diaz?
Yes, Hocus Pocus.
Is Che Diaz in Hocus Pocus 2?
I believe they make a cameo.
Nice.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're in the school classroom. We have new student Max. And what's his crush's name?
Allison. Yeah.
He goes. I got to give Max credit because he immediately asks her out. He like goes for her number. He's like, I don't believe in this ghost stuff.
Yeah.
Well, what's your number? Which little guy's got some moves.
Cojones on.
Definitely has some cojones. We quickly learn that his life in Salem is miserable. He gets bullied by Ernie and
Ice,
and some like surfer bro who way out surfer bros him.
Yeah, I will say this East Coast surfer bro, Jay, I believe. Jay really does out surfer him.
Yeah, he's got like the long hair.
Yeah.
He's got the LA vibe. They steal his cross trainers.
Yeah, which cross trainers, big 90s shoe.
Yeah.
Bo Jackson. Also, Jay very much seems like a oh God, what is that actor's name? I do this all the time where I just like blank on James Franco. Big James Franco. I was
going to start naming actors.
Who would you have named first?
Harrison Ford.
No, not him. James Franco is who I was thinking of. Close though. Yeah, but he gets bullied hardcore. Also, we find out he's a virgin, which is a bullying thing, but it's a key part of the story.
What a fucking loser.
Yeah, he's a virgin.
That's the main point. That's actually the main point of the movie.
I also feel like when we were talking about satanic panics, I feel like there was probably a big thing where, some kids have gone and seen this, and then probably like there was like a youth pastor was like, hey guys, one thing about that movie, first of all, the Satanism stuff, not really down with. Second of all, virginity's cool.
Yeah.
Okay. If you think about it, a virgin saved the movie.
Yeah.
All right. Virginity's cool.
Virginity, I guess we can, once we get through the recap, we can talk about it, but there are some.
Well, we can talk about virginity.
Virginity is like a big. Yeah. Because it's like, I looked at that dude. He looked like he was slanging it since middle school. No, I'm kidding. Virginity is like a big trope in horror movies, isn't it?
Oh, I never even thought of that.
It is Cabin in the Woods.
But I don't watch horror movies, so that makes a ton of sense.
Yeah, there's something about the pureness of someone, and yeah, that's true. There's like a realistic virginity thing in horror movies.
So essentially, what we forgot to mention is the witches when they're murdered, they get sealed away until a candle's lit by a virgin on Halloween.
They also have that's true, and they also have a spell book, like a Book of the Dead, that is a living book bound in human flesh, I think.
Yeah, with eyes.
Yep. And they have a black flamed candle. That's what has to get lit. That's the candle that gets lit on Halloween.
I feel like this movie was designed to like build an experience at Disneyland. Like
it kind of does.
They thought of the experience first and then wrote the script second. But we'll get to that.
Yeah.
So he doesn't believe in all this Sanderson sister witch stuff. He gets bullied. His sister wants to go trick-or-treating. He's like, nah, I don't want to go.
He doesn't want to go trick-or-treating at all. His parents are super into it.
Right. I don't like anything. I miss my old friends. I used to hang out at Cobra Kai Dojo with Daniel LaRusso, and now I'm here in Salem.
Yep.
It stinks. And he has to go trick-or-treating with his sister.
Kevin, what did he dress up as for Halloween?
They haven't dressed up for Halloween yet.
He didn't dress up for Halloween, but then his dad asked him what it was going to be, and he said, "I'm a rapper." And his dad goes, "You need to turn that hat a little bit more, buddy." He gets to turn his hat sideways.
Turn that hat to the side.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. And so he gets ransacked. Him and his sister get ransacked. They get their candy stolen, and he's about to give up on Halloween
by ice.
By friggin' ice.
And then his sister's like, why didn't you stand up for me? Yeah, totally.
He's like, because I'm a virgin.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't do anything cool.
Because I'm a virgin. I can't fucking stand up for you. I have to focus on getting puss from one of my other classmates before I defend my little sister.
His sister should have been like, why didn't you have sex with ice? Get that candy back. Come on. All right.
So, dude, sex with ice.
Ice would have.
Loser, you fucking homophobe.
Yeah.
Mom and dad are into polyamory. Why don't you have sex with ice?
Just have sex with ice and take all the almond joys you want, buddy.
Yeah.
Okay. So anyway, then he's about to give up on Halloween. He's really mulling over his crush on ice in his head, and then they end up going to this one spooky house.
Well, first they meet up with the girl.
Well, that's the spooky house I'm talking about.
Don't they meet up with you take over.
Okay, so they see this one house and she's like, what's this house? And he's like, I don't know, probably rich people. They're going to try to give us cider. And they go in and it's a bunch of, this has not been explained so far. They go in and it's a bunch of people in like powdered wigs and like puffy and like,
oh yeah.
And it's Allison's house. She's like,
so it's kind of a ghost. Was that a ghost situation, or they just have?
I think she was just like, this is my parents' thing. They do it every year.
Her aunt, aunt works for the museum.
Yeah.
Wait, Kevin just had.
But do you? Am I coming through? Because think about it. People probably light that thing all the time, but that's the swingers' house that the parents go to. But they've never had a virgin in that house.
Oh.
That's why it worked. Those people have all fucked.
Yeah.
That's probably what it is. You're right. People are lighting it all. So basically everyone in Salem is very promiscuous.
Yeah.
Totally.
They don't pass out candy. They pass out condoms.
They pass out condoms. Yeah. And
they marked the because that thing would have been lit by someone at that place at some point, right?
For sure.
Totally. Yeah.
Dude, that's awesome.
Okay. So they go, he sees Allison, they got a little flirt going on. Weird kind. I mean, not weird, very 90s, but Tora Birch, the little girl, Danny, she says like, that shirt looks good on you. It wouldn't look as good on me because I don't have, what do you call them, Max? Yabos? Which is like a weird 90s word for boobs.
Dude,
like,
let's bring Yabos back.
We'll bring some dude.
Is that what Fred Flintstone meant when he said yabba dabba doo?
Yabba dabba doo.
I love them dinosaur titties.
He would say that when him and Wilmore get freaky.
Do you think Trey McDougal subscribes to
Yabos?
Yabos?
Yeah.
100%. 100%. So anyway, they kind of all go on a little like Halloween walk together.
Yeah.
Like, hey, you want to see something? And they end up in the house. Oh, the
Sanderson sisters.
The Sanderson sisters. And he says specifically, he goes, I don't believe in all that Hocus Pocus.
Yeah.
Great title.
Foreshadowing.
Totally.
Kevin, what the hell are you doing?
Kevin, are you flying away in the hurricane? What are you doing?
Getting a high noon.
I'm glad this movie was released in July because like it makes sense that you're at at the beach. Like you're in a summer thing watching this movie.
Yeah.
It makes a lot of sense. I like it. Okay, so they go, he doesn't believe
Free
in Hocus.
advertising.
Free advertising for High Noon. High Noon, sponsor the podcast, please.
Mm-hmm.
And then he goes ahead, lights a black flame candle with a Zippo that was in there weirdly. And she's like, don't do it. And then he reincarnates the Sanderson sisters.
Yeah.
Cat comes up as well. They try to attack and steal his sister's lifeblood.
Mm-hmm.
He jumps down and, a lot of bumbling and goofiness. Real witches would probably, I mean, like, John, I don't think you have, but Kevin, you've seen The Witch. I've seen The Witch.
Dude, The Witch is sick.
I was thinking about The Witch when I did this, and I was like, it's so different. Like, they also took a child's life at the beginning of this, but like, they do it in The Witch, and it's I don't
want to watch that.
yeah, it's pretty bad.
Is that the same person that did Midsommar?
No, it's same person. No, it's not Ari Aster.
No, it's not.
That's the guy that did, that's the guys that did The Lighthouse, but still in the same crew of filmmakers though.
I will say this, that, well, I'm not even going to say it because it's so disturbing, but they when they kill a kid, they don't just kill the kid.
Oh, the kid is not
they
just
go fucking hard.
Yeah, it's a lot worse in the Witch. Anyway, in Hocus Pocus, so they try to get her. He ends up lighting the sprinklers.
Yeah,
saying there's going to be some black rain or something coming down, and then they're like, oh. And then they get away.
Right.
They realize it's just sprinklers.
Mm-hmm.
They unleash a goofy zombie out of the ground.
Right.
To chase him. Goofy zombies chasing him. The witches get out. The witches go and start chasing them around the town.
Right.
I'm trying to think if there's anything else that happened. The cat talks. We find out that the talking cat,
Banksy.
Yeah, is the guy. We find out that
When can I start shit talking the show?
I'm trying to think if we got everything. I think we're pretty good. I think we get to the place then where the witches are like, let's go find them, and the witches are gonna get unleashed on the town.
Yeah.
And then I guess the last thing we see is the witches go out on the town. They get on a bus. And this guy is like,
oh, dude.
I will say that part's pretty funny.
Yeah,
and that guy looks like Robert De Niro weirdly.
Yeah.
But yeah, and
they're like exposing themselves to the 90s world.
Yeah,
it's been 300 years since they've come out.
Exactly, and everyone and he is like, you're dressed up as the Sanders,
right? Because it's Halloween.
And then they're like, what can we get? They're like, we want children, and he's like, I'll give you some children. He's in the swinger cult. He's gonna impregnate him. Anyway, so that's what we made it to. Long ass recap, but
all right, so where does this movie come out compared to like Goonies, Hook, like the Indiana Jones movie? Like, I feel like this is in the same. Wait,
can I say something? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Yeah.
Damn it.
No, we can hear you.
We can hear you.
This is
okay. We can hear you,
okay.
But
so
just gonna keep
I feel like this is like a fun, silly adventure movie that is just I don't want to be in the adventure at all.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Wait, kind of. What do you mean?
Like when
I?
Go ahead, Kevin.
Sorry. Can you hear me right now?
Yes, we can hear you.
Because I don't know if you said this because there was like a glitch, but what was interesting, and then you can continue with your very good point. You just mentioned all Steven Spielberg adjacent movies.
Yeah. Yeah. True.
So you mentioned Goonies, he produced it. Indiana Jones, he directed it and produced it. And then Hook, which he directed. So it's very interesting that they wanted him for this.
Yeah.
And he's an absolute master, greatest top 5 filmmakers of all time.
Mm-hmm.
And you saw that in the movie, but it's not the master doing it. Well, so that's all I know. Those are all Steven Spielberg films.
We haven't finished the movie yet, but there's certainly like a lot of like silly hijinks that take place in this movie.
And I will say, before, as you're going to do what you do, I do think we've talked about it a lot in Sex and the City, but we get some pretty good Sarah Jessica Parker, goofy physical comedy stuff. I feel like that's most of what we're getting out of her so far.
I think there's like there are funny scenes so far that have happened. The stuff with the bus driver's funny. Like, I don't know if it's funny, but the scene with like the bullies, it like feels very 80s, but it's just like, it's missing that attraction of, I desperately want to live in this world.
Is it missing the magic? Like the magic of Hook, the magic of...
Dude, when you were 10 and you saw Hook, or when you saw Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, like when you would close your eyes and you'd be like, all I want to do is wake up in Neverland and hang out with the Lost Boys.
Right.
And just chant Rufio and like swing from a vine.
Right.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, but do they have, besides getting the witches away, they don't really have a mission, do they? Because the witches should have...
Well, the witches are... Do you mean the witches don't have a mission, or the town doesn't have a mission?
The kids kind of don't have a mission. They're like, oops, I let the cat out of the bag. I let the genie out of the bottle. And then they have to be like... I guess the stakes seem kind of like, besides being like, oopsie doopsie.
Yeah.
I feel like it'd be... Some of what you're saying, John, is like the world they inhabit is like they did a mistake, and then they have to shake people and be like, these witches are real, but that's the end of the bit. And I'm sure they'll raise the stakes later in the movie or something, but it's almost like the witches should be like, tomorrow at this time,
right,
this will happen.
Yeah.
Or else we'll be here forever. Like because it's kind of just like they do it and then also, I don't know. That's some of the world thing that came to mind.
Totally. Also, like, who's the protagonist and who's the antagonist? Are we rooting for the witches?
No, I think the protagonist is, well, that's a good question, actually. I mean, I think the witches are the antagonist. I think we're supposed to be rooting for Max, because Max is the virgin who accidentally lets the witches out and I think the stuff with Ice is supposed to be like, Max is having a hard time.
Totally. But
and now they're just trying to get away so they don't kill his sister.
But I'm confused by that, because like the witches are like super likable.
Yeah. They're like goof troop.
Right. And I think they need to have harder edges for us to actively root against them. Because I'm not right now, you know?
Yeah.
Well, I think also I feel if the lore was done correctly, it'd be once he has sex, the witches disappear. In which case, but they had to cut that because it's a kids movie, so you can't be just rooting to watch teenagers have sex.
Yeah, that's what the movie Kids is about. The movie Kids is about.
Harmony Korine really picked
Harmony Korine cut out the witch part, but he left in all the sex,
all the kids having sex.
Totally. Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. I mean, I think that there's like a thing where it's like, I see what you're saying. I think it's like the virgin. I was wondering at first, like, why are they going so hard on this kid being a virgin? Even his little sister talking about being a virgin.
Yeah.
Then that is the lore of only a virgin can do this, and it's
that makes sense. I mean,
it's kind of a twist.
Completely over my head.
Yeah, and it's kind of a twist where usually the virgin is like a young maiden, but now it's like a kid from LA, a boy, and then, but one thing that I just realized is, his story is patterning this guy in the 1600s that couldn't save his sister.
Yeah.
So now he's trying to save his sister in present day and is he going to end up a cat?
Do they explain why? Because I think the townspeople like burnt the witches because they're like, where's my son? He's gone missing and we know you hurt him.
Yeah.
And
now
like,
wait, here.
Why didn't the cat just be like, hey, Dad, it's me?
That's true. They don't explain that the cat they don't explain why the cat didn't talk back then.
Maybe
he said 300 years to learn how to speak.
Oh, okay.
That's probably true.
I missed that.
That's probably true. He did learn English.
He's been doing Duolingo.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty true.
Well, I wanted to say that it's kind of like the weird thing is like Salem, the whole idea was like there were no witches, and then they killed like 40 people, I think. And then they were like, this is a major problem. So this is already kind of weird that they actually killed real witches in Salem, because the whole point of the injustice of Salem was that they killed a bunch of citizens that were just normal people.
Wouldn't they just like throw women in lakes and be like, if they don't drown, they're a witch and we'll burn them? And then the women would drown.
Yeah.
And be like,
I think that was Monty Python. But one thing, because I just read about this because my mom here on vacation is reading a book about Salem. The real thing, what they think it was, is they think that there was a fungus that actually gives people, it makes them like vomit and like foam at the mouth and sometimes have like weird reactions. And they think that is like what happened to some kids. And then that's how the entire thing, and it makes them have bad dreams. So one of them had a bad dream and was like, I saw the devil at night. And that's what sparked the entire thing.
Jeez.
This movie throws a wrench in it by being like, hey, there actually were witches killing children, in which case it justifies the murder of these witches in the first place.
Is this movie where the idea of like pointy hats and witches flying on broomsticks, that didn't come from this movie?
No.
Okay.
That was way before the 90s.
Where'd that come
from? No. Wizard of Oz.
Wizard of Oz.
Yeah.
I'd be curious to know where that, like, I need to brush up on my witch lore.
Yeah.
Well, witches, I guess the whole thing, one thing that is like, why do you want to live forever? Doesn't it get boring?
Yeah.
I mean, Voldemort wanted to do the same thing. It's like, why not, like, how long is enough?
Yeah, it's at some point enough is enough, ladies. But they
also want to be young and beautiful.
They want to be young and beautiful.
That kind of makes sense that a witch is like killing a kid to take its youth. It's like, that's it. I think there's something built into the character that's like, I want to be youthful. In order to do that, I have to take a child's youth. And then eventually that just turned into skincare companies.
So why?
That's what it is. It's oil of Olay.
Why was this movie made?
The movie was made because one of the original creators was talking to their child and telling them a story to like get them to sleep, and they made up a story about. It originally was like some witches and a talking cat. That's the original story, and then it grew into this.
Okay.
So and then actually the original story is a lot darker than this.
Really?
The original story is a lot darker and scary.
I love how original ideas are always a lot darker. If you go back and read some of the old Little Mermaid, like shit was pretty crazy.
Even what was it? Pretty Woman.
Yeah.
Pretty Woman, a lot darker. It's like a movie about like her being hooked on coke.
Well, also, I mean, this movie, I will give it credit. Like, when they trick or treat and then see Satan, and all of a sudden they're just like,
yes,
they're like, oh my gosh, my Lord! Like, that is pretty.
I can't wait to watch that part.
Yeah, you might have watched ahead.
Yeah,
that's where I stopped it. I stopped it right there. It was
minute
like 46 or 47.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Well, spoiler alert.
Well, the thing about that I thought was interesting is the guy that plays Satan in this movie is the one and only, I'm making sure it's true, director of Pretty Woman.
What?
The guy that plays Satan?
The guy that plays Satan in this movie is the king of the rom-com.
Who is it?
Gary Marshall.
Oh my gosh.
Pretty
no
Woman,
way.
Beaches, Runaway Bride, Princess Bride.
No.
Not Princess Bride, Princess Diaries.
No way. That's amazing.
I recognized it. Yeah, and so he plays Satan, and it's actually kind of a funny bit because they are full on like they're like, oh my gosh, my Lord, I can't believe we get to meet you. And it makes for some fun hijinks. But yeah, so I think, John, part of the reason how it got made is it's like, it's in this world of all of these people. They're like, let's make a Halloween movie. He did, I mean, later in life, but it's like he's like a huge guy. The guy that made this did Newsies before this. They're like, we can put together all of these heavy hitters and make a Disney hit, which they didn't do, and then they did.
Are there any other family Halloween movies? Like I feel like you see a lot of family holiday movies. You see like family summer like break movies and camp movies.
But are there other well, I mean, there's The Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown, which is a family Halloween movie.
But like there's not a ton of like family that I can think of off the top of my head where it's like this is the fun family blockbuster Halloween movie.
I mean, Nightmare Before Christmas,
kind of.
Yeah, I mean, Nightmare Before Christmas.
When did Nightmare Before Christmas and Beetlejuice come out?
Those were both 90s.
Nightmare Before Christmas is 93.
That was the year this came out.
I wonder if they released this in also in the summer because that was coming out.
Let's see, Nightmare Before Christmas.
Was that a big budget film?
Yeah, it was pretty big. I'm pretty sure. Beetlejuice is 88.
Okay.
Although I wouldn't consider Beetlejuice. I'd consider Beetlejuice like big Hollywood movie. I don't know if at the time it was like family movie.
Yeah. These are like all movies like Kevin I wasn't allowed to watch.
Yeah. I snuck into the theater to see Beetlejuice when I was a kid.
What?
Yeah.
Dude, you're like ice.
Dude, I was like ice. I did that and then I beat up a virgin for his shoes.
First cross trainers.
Yeah. That's pretty wild, though.
Corey and I are always beating virgins up.
Always. That's pretty wild about Gary Marshall.
Dude, that's why we beat up Gary Marshall. He's like 86 now and he's still a virgin. But you know what's interesting? Sorry.
No, go ahead.
It's a Wonderful Life got famous the same way, but I think it's a much more beloved movie.
That's crazy.
Like It's a Wonderful Life didn't get huge until it was just in the vault. And then they were like, let's play it. And now it's like Christmas movie for the ages.
Totally. That's wild. Well, yeah, we're only doing 2 episodes of this and, that's it. That's all we got.
We're going to have some more triv on the next one.
I'm excited to watch the second half of this movie. I want to see what happens. I feel like a lot of my opinion is going to be determined in the second half.
Yeah, I think so.
We'll have to see if John, what would you give it right now on a scale of Roger Ebert 1 to 4?
1.
What do you have it at? 1.
Yeah,
That's
1.
What Roger Ebert gave it.
I'm not into this movie at all. I don't think it's fun. I'm not engaged.
You really hate it.
I just don't like this movie at all so far.
Let me ask you, what do you, oh my gosh, it came out the same day as Free Willy.
What?
Yeah.
Now that was some witchcraft. Oh, and here's another connection. The guy that directed it, the guy that directed this movie was going to direct the Michael Jackson documentary.
The Michael Jackson. The one that came.
This Is It, when he died.
He did direct it, didn't he?
He directed it, but he was going to direct that tour when it came out and the movie. And then Free Willy, Michael Jackson had the song in Free Willy. So there's so many connections.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
He saw a little bit too many similarities between the witches stealing the life essence from little children and Michael Jackson as a human that he's like, I can't. I've already directed this movie. I need to do something else.
Oh my gosh, you're a virgin. We need to do something about that.
Oh no. Roger Ebert also gave it 1 star.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder if Roger Ebert could go back and watch it again now that it's a cult classic, if he would change his rating.
I don't know.
Anyway, we're gonna watch the second act here shortly. Come back and spill our thoughts. I'm excited to watch this Satan part.
We're gonna do totally. We're gonna do the second act on our Patreon. Got some more triv. Got some interesting stories about how it became a cult classic.
Ooh,
yeah,
can't wait.
Thank you so much for listening. We love you. Rate us and subscribe to us on iTunes. Rate us on Spotify. Follow us there.
Go beat up some virgins.
Go beat up some virgins.
If you see a virgin, beat them up.
Yeah.
All right. Later, taters.
Later, taters.
Later, taters.
The Bradshaw Boys stars Cory Cavin, Kevin James Doyle, and Jon Sieber. The show is produced by me, Jeremy Balon, and narrated by Katie Sieber. This podcast is part of the Seltzer Kings Network. Check out all their great podcasts at seltzerkings.com. You can find the boys on their socials at The Bradshaw Boys or on their website at bradshawboys.com. And as always, if you see them in the street, tip your glass. Thanks for listening.
I put a spell on you, 'cause you're mine.